Rocker Pat here. Alright guys, another daily grind over here. We got ourselves a 2000 and I don't know man, what is this, a 2011 Volkswagen Tiguan. I don't know what the hell a Tiguan is. Is it kind of like an iguana or something? Is it some, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it's got this 2.0 liter TDI or whatever the hell that is. I don't know what TDI stands for. Who the hell, I don't know. Anyway, this car's got 64,000 miles on it. And it has been struck with the same problem that seems like all these 2.0 liter, they're in Audis, they're in Rabbits, and I mean, they're in all sorts of crap. And when I mean crap, I do mean crap. If you buy a VW, you're buying crap. Anyway, let me show you what's going on. I have in here, because the timing tensioner has taken a shit and it's jump timing. It came in here for a check engine light and not running worth the damn for a P0016 and P0017, or it was just one of them. I forget which one of them it was. But the timing tensioner took a shit and it's jumped teeth. This is a new chain on it. I got it. You can see right there, I'm on my mark. I'm on my mark over here. If we go down here, we look carefully. See that arrow right there lined up with that pinkish colored sprocket, or not sprocket, but chain gear or link or whatever the hell we want to call it. Right there is the arrow and it's lined up right there. Alright, so we got all that done. But let me show you what's going on. A couple things here. One thing, if you're doing one of these jobs, it's kind of a pain in the ass. These are under tension right now, right through here. These two cams are tight, and that chain's tight through this zone. That's why I got the wrench on it. And the other thing about it is that when you're trying to slide these guides in place, man, that it goes bing. So one of the things I do is to start off on this particular one, I actually started with some string and tied the chains together down here so that that would stay tense. And then after I've got this one on, then I moved over to a small bungee to pull this chain this way after I tightened that one up by turning the crank just a hair. Okay, so that's how I get that done, to get the slides in, guides, whatever you want to call it. I kind of got lucky on this job. This right here is the actuator for the variable valve timing. This tool right here, it's a special tool that goes in here and tightens this down. Man, I didn't have it, and I didn't want to order it off of eBay. I don't do eBay. And I really don't order a whole bunch of stuff online, really, to be honest with you. I like buying from local retailers so I can keep people employed in my neighborhood and not some foreign, far away place that, anyway. So I couldn't find the tool, and I really got lucky because I got one of them tools that you use for collapsing the rear brake calipers, pistons. And it just happened to have this, and I had to do a little filing on the edges to get it to fit in there right. And it's a little tight, which is fine by me. Okay, I just dropped it. Where the hell did it go? Of course, it's sitting in the oil. If there's ever any oil on the floor and you drop something, that's where it's gonna sit. So anyway, I got lucky and I was able to file that a little bit, and I got that to get that actuator. That plunger right there is electromagnetically operated to change the oil pressure inside it to make this thing move and all that kind of crap. You know how that stuff works. So anyway, let's go over here and look at the new tensioner we got, because we're on our 5th rendition of tensioners. And what's going on with it, this is the original, and you see it's splined right there. And it's got this retaining ring right here that is just like weaker and weak. You can see how easy I just popped that off. Okay? I mean, one-handed. So this thing's super weak, and what happens is that through all the violence that's going on by that chain stretching, banging, doing its thing, because man, there's a lot of tension moving around. It ain't smooth. It's coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. That's how this internal combustion engine works. So it's got this little paw thing right there. I don't know, let me see if I can get this focused a little better on it. Okay, you see that little paw? Well, what happens is it pushes back and then it can jump. and now the tensioner goes in and it needs to lock. That's because this spring isn't strong enough, and it spreads out as that lug comes up and pushes on it. All right, so we are on the 5th rendition of a repair for this. This is part number K, the last one they have, and then I don't know what the Ket spanner. What the fuck is that? It's a tensioner. Anyway, so here's the new one. And let's take a look at it and see what bright-ass idea that these sons of bitches have got today. Because I'm going to tell you right now, straight up between me, you, and the horse post, I can't stand German cars. I cannot stand German cars. I can't stand really any European car. They do everything ass backwards, and I believe they've got the world buffaloed on the fact that they have the best cars. Now, I fix cars every day. And I can tell you what the best cars are. If you want a luxury car, go buy you a Lexus. I hate to say it. I hate to push a Japanese product, but go buy you a Lexus. Now look at the retaining system that they have on this tensioner here. You see that little bitty ass wire right there? I mean, itty bitty ass wire. Let me get this in here and see if we can squeeze that a little bit. You see how weak that is, how flimsy? Now that is going, those rings right there that are down in there, I'm taking it that spread out little piece of metal right there is supposed to go in those rings and take all the violence that chain is putting on it. And man, I ain't buying it. So I can tell you right now, I've already told the customer I'm going to fix this car, get it running, get rid of that code, and if they ever want me to work on another car for them, they need to go get rid of this damn Volkswagen and buy a Honda, a Toyota, a Chevrolet. I don't care what, but they get no warranty on this job. When I know that VW is on the 5th rendition of that, and that's what they hand me with that little bitty piece of crap wire, and that's supposed to hold the tension of this thing. Yeah, it works with oil pressure, but as oil pressure drops, that retaining ring is supposed to keep everything out. Man, but as it is sitting in there, what's going to happen is eventually it's going to beat up against the landing, and when it beats up against the landing, it's going to break that spring. That spring is going to fall down into the track of that chain or wherever it goes, and then this thing's just going to sit there. When you turn the oil pressure off, it's going to move in. Then you crank it up, and all of a sudden, the cam gear just jumped 2 teeth, which is what's happening here. Anyway, guys, I just thought I'd show y'all a little daily grind and why I will never, ever, ever, ever recommend a German, a European piece of crap car. I mean, first, let's talk about the fact that they can't even bolt the wheels on correctly. What the hell, man? 2/3 of the world does it one direction, one way, with studs, replaceable studs. You strip one of these, you're putting a hub in. Replaceable studs. 2/3 of the world does it that way, yet Germany and the Europeans and all their smartness that they are seem to think they need to do it a different way. These cars are pieces of crap. Total ass crap. I tell anybody and everybody that owns a VW to sell it. It's crap. Anyway, guys, I'm tired of bitching about this VW. Got to go get this cover on, get this piece of crap out of my shop so I can move on to something else. Y'all keep rocking and rolling and rolling and rocking, and stay the hell away from fucking German cars.